Hi all, welcome back. In my last video, if you've seen it, you would have noticed that I used Amazon Q Developer in Visual Studio to help me get some code done. So I thought I'd actually give you a quick overview of how I set that up in Visual Studio Code. So Amazon Q Developer is the new AI from AWS. It's similar to Code Whisperer, which I've shown in a previous video, but instead this is actually a chatbot style, similar to ChatGTP or something. So it's a very handy tool, great to use. So what we can do is in this video, I'll show you how I went about setting it up in Visual Studio Code. And then also from there, I can show you what it can do around generating some code. So again, as I said, very, very useful tool. If you haven't watched my last video around setting up GitHub Actions, I was able to ask it how I can set up GitHub Actions to upload to S3, and it was able to generate the code for me, give me a step-by-step description of what each parts do, even telling me information about the things I need to set up within GitHub, such as the secrets, keys, and access, and S3 bucket names. So that's pretty cool. Unlike Code Whisperer, where it used to give you kind of code suggestions when you're actually writing your code. This will save you time having to jump to another window and search code examples in Google or something like that. Whereas Code Whisperer, basically we'll set up Code Whisperer as a chatbot within Visual Studio Code. So here we are in Visual Studio Code. The first thing we need to do is actually install the add-on. So AWS, this actually has its own add-on now. Whereas previously you just used the AWS toolkit, which would include Code Whisperer. And I believe when they first released Amazon Q, for developer, it was in in the toolkit as well. But it now has its own plugin, as you can see here. So if you just search Amazon Q, you'll find it. From here, you can go ahead and install it. Pretty straightforward. So once you've installed it, you need to sign into a AWS Builder account. So it'll ask you to sign in. Now this is free. So in this stage, I'm copying the link. I'll open it up in my browser. So once you load the link up, as I mentioned, the AWS Builder ID accounts are free. So if you don't have one, you can just sign up for one with your email address and creating a password. But I already have one, so I'll log in using that. Once I log in, it'll ask me to allow access to developer, and then that's it, to Amazon Q, and that's it. So once you've done that, here we are back in our Visual Studio Code window, and as you can see, we've got a little Amazon Q chat window on our left-hand side. So one of the cool things here, I've just opened up some code. I'm going to ask it what this code does. And it's going to go and read this code and hopefully give me a bit of a description of what it does. And here you go. So this code is some Python code to upload to an S3 bucket. There you go. And it's telling me exactly what this code is going to do. Then it also gives you suggestions down the bottom about some extra information around, properly securing S3 buckets and the like. So if you have a set of code and you're not exactly sure what it's doing, you can just ask Amazon Q. And then it'll give you other suggestions, as I said, around best practices for S3 buckets, creating different scripts. And then if you scroll up the top there, it's asking you, but I can click on best practice policy around asking for it should generate some best practice policies for me around securing S3 buckets. And there you go, it's done that. So it doesn't just read my code and tell me what it does. It also gives me prompts around some other useful information that I might need for this project I'm working on. So that's pretty cool. The other thing that we can do, obviously, is also auto-generate some, well, ask it to generate some code. So yeah, as you can see here, it's given me a pretty detailed description around the things that I'm looking to do, and it's even given me some examples around some bucket policies and the like, which is pretty cool. So now, if we create a new window, let's say we want to, we're going to create a YAML file. We'll say let's create a CloudFormation template in YAML that deploys an EC2 instance. Pretty simple, but we'll just use this as a demo. Yep, create ec2.yaml, that's fine. Yeah, just save it wherever. Cool. Okay, so now I'm going to ask Amazon Q developer. Let's see, I want to create an EC2 instance, and I want to be able to input, let's say, okay, CloudFormation template in YAML to create a EC2 instance. What else? What else do we want it to do? Let's say, okay, I'd like it to, let's say we only want it to specify certain instance types. So I'd like to select from the M3 service series. And yep, all right, so that's pretty straightforward. That's all we need to ask it. And we'll wait for it to generate. Okay, so here we go. So it's now generated some YAML CloudFormation template for me. It's set up the resources, it's set up security groups and everything. It's now going through and stepping through and telling me exactly what it's creating and all the steps. So I can now copy that code and paste it, and there's my code. Now, having said that, you know, it does create code for you, but I wouldn't take it as gospel, so to speak. You definitely want to look at reviewing the code and, you know, just using it as an example. You know, if you don't have your own templates already and you want to quickly, rather than just typing all this from scratch, you know, it's a lot quicker to do it this way than jump onto Google and find an example to copy. But again, you can see how powerful Amazon Q is once you hook it up to Visual Studio Code. It does hook up as well to other IDEs as well, but yeah, I mainly use Visual Studio Code, so that's what I thought I'd show you. So I'd recommend, yeah, having a play. As I said, the developer, Amazon Q developer, is free to use. It's just the Amazon Q that you need licenses for. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. And you know, if you haven't watched my other video, go back and have a look, and you know, you can see it creating other code for me very easily. So yeah, awesome. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next one.